All right, so we're back here on another edition of the Couch Coach Live. We're continuing our ninth annual NFL preview. We're talking about the New Orleans Saints. So, of course, I had to bring in my guy, DA, from the Real Deal with Damian Adams and the Third and Three podcast. What's going on, man?
Doing good, man. I'm just glad you thought about me when it came to the Saints. So, I'm ready to talk about who that nation, baby.
Yeah, it's been a while. I know you came on some other podcast in October when we previewed our matchup, the former Washington football team, and we discussed that. So yeah, it's been a while. So we definitely got to talk about your New Orleans Saints. A lot has happened, obviously. The new regime now, obviously, Sean Payton is no longer there. The Dennis Allen regime starts at this point. So, DA, just your thoughts on just the offseason for this New Orleans Saints team, and then what do you deem as the team's biggest acquisition?
Well, overall on the offseason, I thought it was a great offseason for us. We did lose some big parts in Teron Armstead, of course, at left tackle, and also Marcus Williams at free safety. But we were able to replace Marcus Williams with a combination of Tyrann Mathieu and also Marcus May from the Jets. And I believe he's a very good safety who was underrated because he was on the Jets. Not too many people were watching Jets games and looking out for their good players. So I think he's somebody who's going to really surprise people this year. But of course, Teron Armstead, that's the biggest loss at left tackle. Our newest acquisition at left tackle, Trevor Penning, definitely showing some feistiness at practice, getting kicked out the other day. So I think it's a good sign that he's not taking anything from anybody on the field and that we know he's going to be a tough guy. He's a rookie, that those veterans are trying to test him right now. So I don't think people should panic too much about him having these fights in training camp. We always see fights between offensive linemen, defensive linemen, wide receivers, cornerbacks at training camp each and every year. But as far as our biggest acquisition, I would have to say it's somebody who's already on the team. It's sort of like acquisition because we haven't seen him healthy in so long. Can't guard Mike. Michael Thomas coming back is such a big thing for our offense. He makes such a huge difference. Having somebody who's that dependable, a true number one receiver, we did not have that last year. Last year, our offense was Alvin Kamara and more Alvin Kamara. Like that was pretty much it for our offense all last season. So now with Michael Thomas, and then you talk about the acquisition of a Jarvis Landry and drafting Chris Olave, along with having Alvin Kamara there as that staple of the offense. I think that the return of Michael Thomas is our biggest acquisition because he's such a big part of the offense. And people forget how good Michael Thomas truly is. The guy broke the record for receptions in a year the last time he was healthy. So I think that he's really going to show people this year and remind us, like, yo, don't forget what my name is. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Mike. That's what he's going to do this year. He's going to reintroduce himself to the world for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you deem as the biggest storyline heading to the season for this New Orleans Saints team?
I probably have to go back to that left tackle position. We have a veteran in James Hurst who's been on the roster for a while now. He's played all over the offensive line. He might get the start if Trevor Penning is not quite ready. But we just need whoever replaces Teron Armstead to be okay. Just don't be trash. Don't be somebody don't be a turnstile. Just be okay. Hold your own at that position because the rest of our offensive line are all returning starters. When you talk about Andres Pete and Eric McCoy, also Cesar Ruiz, along with the Pro Bowl right tackle and Ryan Ramczyk. The rest of that line is good. If the left tackle position is just stable, just okay, this offense, I believe, can be a top 5 offense in the league. When you look at Alvin Kamara, Jameis Winston, his 3rd year in this system, we saw the improvement on his decision-making last year. So you bring that improvement with decision-making and being patient in the offense, along with the weapons he now has. If the O-line can hold up, that left tackle position to be specific, this offense could be very, very dangerous. So that's the biggest storyline heading into the season, especially preseason. I want to see how Trevor looks, how James Hurst looks. I want to see how those guys look going into the season when that's all we're really worried about going into the year. The rest of the roster is pretty much set up.
Yeah, absolutely. And any other thoughts on the offense? Well, I know we kind of mentioned it. You just alluded a little earlier. Just some more thoughts about this offense.
Yeah, I think this offense has the potential to be special, like really, really special, because we have, like I mentioned earlier, we have the running game. Now, last year, our running game did not thrive in the way that it normally does these last few years, but I think that's because of the lack of weaponry on the outside. So last year, off defenses didn't really have to worry about us throwing the ball on the outside too much, right? Jameis can get the ball downfield, and he can hit, Deontay Hardy now, who's Deontay Harris. You can hit him for a deep pass, or you can hit Callaway, but we didn't have those consistent weapons on the outside. So teams were just locked in on stopping the run. And that's why we kind of struggled a little bit running the ball. We were 27th in yards per carry last year. Overall, we had good running numbers, but it took a lot of attempts to get to those running numbers. I think this year we're going to have a smoother transition in running the ball. And instead of averaging 3.9 yards per carry, you'll see it somewhere in that 4.5, 4.6 yards per carry range, which I think makes a huge difference in just if you're getting a few runs where you're getting 5-6 yards, and now it is on 2nd and 4 or 3rd and 2 instead of 2nd and 8 and 3rd and 6. It makes such a huge difference in your offense and gives you so many different options as far as what you can do in that next down. If it's 2nd and 4, I can run it again. I can play action. I can do a short pass. I can take a chance deep. There's so many things I can do when I have a good down and distance, of course, versus the alternative when it's 2nd and 8 or 2nd and 9. And now, he pretty much got to pass the ball here. So I think that's really going to help the offense so much. And then you talk about Michael Thomas coming back, Jarvis Landry being added, Chris Olave. I believe at tight end, with Taysom Hill now playing tight end, that's going to help as well. He's a good blocker. So if our left tackle position needs a little help, he can be in there to chip and help out. And also he can catch the ball. We've seen him play receiver, play running back, be able to catch the ball at the backfield. And I think a full offseason at tight end, we'll see Taysom Hill be pretty good there, along with Jawan Johnson at tight end. You'll see some 2 tight end sets. This offense has everything. They can do everything they want to do. So I believe the possibilities are unlimited when it comes to this offense, and they will have a great year this year.
And let's talk about the other side. Your thoughts on this Saints defense?
This defense will be very, very good again. Last year, they were top 5 in points allowed per game. I see no reason why they can't be that good again. Now, it may take a few weeks because we do have some new pieces in there. I mentioned earlier that we no longer have Marcus Williams. We have Tyrann Mathieu and Marcus May playing safety. They're different type of safeties compared to Marcus Williams. Marcus Williams is very rangy. We got away with a lot of things last year because he covers so much space. So you can play a little more aggressive when you have safeties in the back that can cover 3/4 of the field on deep passes. He's especially against like a Tom Brady. That's one of the reasons we were successful against Tampa Bay is that we were able to play tight coverage, and we knew over the top that Marcus Williams had all that covered, right? And Malcolm Jenkins also was able to come down and play the run and guard in certain positions. He would play the slot if we didn't have C.J. Gardner-Johnson in the game. So now with Tyrann Mathieu and Marcus May being different styles, still very good, but different style of safety, it might take a few weeks for the defense to look as good as it did last year. But I believe by week 4, week 5, you'll see the old Saints defense of last year being a top 5 defense. The defensive line is still very, very deep. So you're going to have guys rotating in and out. Cam Jordan is still very good. Marcus Davenport dealt with some offseason things as far as injuries, but we did draft Peyton Turner last year at defensive end. He only played a little bit, dealt with injuries last year, so I'm looking forward to him stepping up this year and maybe proclaiming that role as the second best guy on that defensive line. That's another preseason storyline that I'm looking forward to see how he progresses and how he worked out in the offseason, if he improved his game. We still got Demario Davis at linebacker. Like, this defense is still loaded. It might take a little bit to gel. Hopefully we can do that in the preseason. In a few weeks into the season, you'll see this defense dominating.
Absolutely. And with this NFL schedule, obviously we have 17 games scheduled. And I did say, a game that's circled on the calendar, but we all know it ain't just one. So you can give me more than one game that you got circled on the calendar for this Saints team this season.
Oh, man. Yeah, we have a tough schedule. So there's a lot of games that as just a football fan, period, people are going to enjoy. But as a Saints fan, of course, you got those Tampa Bay games circled. We got them week 2. We don't get to get a full warm-up. We got Atlanta week 1, which should be an easy win, but you never know in the NFL, especially in a rivalry game. Atlanta doesn't, is not projected to be good this year. But week 2, Tampa Bay is definitely circled. We have Cincinnati week 6. That's definitely going to be a tough one for sure. For me personally, we got Arizona week 7. So I definitely should be in the building for that one since I live out here. So that's a personal one for me. Vegas week 8. That's a tough one. Week 9, Baltimore. There's so many games that are definitely going to be circled as far as being tough games that we're looking forward to. Cleveland week 16, depending on the whole Deshaun Watson situation, he could be back by that point. Could be dealing with a very tough Browns team. So we definitely have a tough schedule, but I believe we have a team that's built for it as well. Philadelphia, week 17. Our schedule is really tough. There's a lot of games there where we're like, oh, man, another week. Won't really have weeks off. We got Atlanta a couple of times where you're like, okay, we could beat Atlanta. Carolina, they won't be easy, but we should beat them. And then we've had Tampa Bay's number, but it's hard to continue to beat a team so many times in a row. So I know those games are going to be tough as well. So it's a lot of games I'm looking forward to. But Tampa Bay, those 2 Tampa Bay games to be specific are the ones that's definitely circled.
Nice. I know you're looking forward to the one in Arizona. That's going to definitely be a highlight of the year for you.
Yeah.
So, I got to ask you the $60 million question. In 2022, the New Orleans Saints will finish.
In 2022, the New Orleans Saints will finish 11-6, and we won't win a division. The Bucs will get a division, but we will be the first wild card team. We'll be very dangerous. We'll be a very dangerous wild card team come playoff time. By that time, we gel. If we stay healthy, the Saints have a legit chance to be that team that no one expects to make the Super Bowl, to make that type of run come playoff time. So 11-6, and we're going to be that team that no one wants to play. They say that every year. We'll be that team that no one wants to play come playoff time.
Absolutely. Definitely we'll put a bow on the Saints preview. Definitely appreciate you for coming on, DA. So before we head on out, social media plugs in the upcoming projects you got. Let us know what's going on.
Oh, man, thank you so much for having me on, man. I could just, run my travel about the Saints all day. So I appreciate you giving me a platform to do that. For me, my social media is called The Real Deal WDA. That's The Real Deal, W as in whiskey, D as in Delta, A as in Alpha on all social media platforms. Right now, I am doing a series where I'm doing each team's over-under totals for the season. So if you are a betting man like myself, check out the videos. I'm giving you some tips. I've done Arizona and Atlanta so far. And I think that people should go ahead and follow those tips for those bets. I'll be doing different bet videos, the Real Deal Bets videos on the NFL, boxing, of course, the NBA once it comes back around on my social media. So you can catch it on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you follow me. You'll be able to catch those Real Deal Bets videos. Of course, my podcast is called The Real Deal with Damian Adams, available on all podcast platforms. And I do another one called the 3rd and 3 podcast, which we do live on Facebook every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Can't catch it live, don't trip. You can go ahead and catch it on all podcast platforms. And I did start writing for gridironheroics.com. I've got 3 articles out for them already, 2 Saints ones, another one about the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. So you can go ahead and hit me up for those articles and check my social media. You'll find them there as well. It's a lot of stuff, man. So you don't got time to write all that down. Just follow me at The Real Deal WDA, and you'll find all my content there. All right. Again, I appreciate you, sir.
And definitely appreciate you for coming on. Like we said, when we talk about Saints, I always got to think about my guy DA. So definitely once again appreciate you. And this wraps up the New Orleans Saints preview. We'll catch you guys on the next team as we continue our 9th annual Couch Coach Live NFL preview.